Well, hello, hi, tis me, tis I, small town Didi, you're a Khadi on the internet, and I am back, we're back, darlings, you guys. Okay, let's get the other stuff out of the way. Please do like, comment, share, and subscribe. You guys, please subscribe. I asked you guys to let 20 of your good friends know about me so we can at least get to 300, because we need, like, we have things to chat about. Like, if you like hearing what I have to say, 2 of your mates must like it too. It's really just that simple. So please do me a solid. Let's try our hardest to grow this channel. We're down here, up on here, whatever. And the other thing I realized, like, maybe you guys just aren't sure if it's allowed. It's okay to leave Rakhadi a comment telling her she looks cute. Like, don't, like, I know me too. Like shit is as fucked up, but like, you can say it. Anyway, Real Housewives of Durban, Season 3, Episode 8, let's go. We have notes. That's what we do here. If you're new here, we keep notes. We refer to our notes because we must know the order of how things went down. All right, we start back at the coffee in hand. Oh, so good. We start back at the dinner. Everybody sat at the dinner now, and then Did they run it back a bit? Had she already thrown the glass in the last episode? I don't know, but before she throws the glass, she says to Annie, this is Jojo now, we start back at the dinner. Nonko prays over the food. Her and Slee start they pray at the same time and stuff, but then she lets Nonko go through with it, and she says a cute little prayer, and they get into it. And then Jojo then says to Annie, I've been a little hurt. Yeah, guys, people said I'm reaching on my TikTok when I was referring to the fact that if you don't come from these communities and you don't understand certain things, don't speak. This is reaching. They had me fucked up, but this is reaching. Annie is looking for a moment with Sarisha and Annie, and she's grasping at anything that she's looking for attention, and she'll take any kind. And she's looking for attention from these two in particular. Nonko's alone is not enough. It's like easily obtained. So it's like she doesn't have to vie for Nonko's loyalty or affection. She gets it very freely without doing much for it. I don't even know if she reciprocates, but whatever. She especially wants Annie and Sarisha's attention, and it's not like they're not giving her attention, but it's like she needs it in high amounts. That's all I could gather from this. She badly wants to be in with the rich girls because she's also one of the rich girls, you know. She's with her man who has loads of money, and she has lots of money and lawyers, you know. That's also why she behaves the way she does. She's been the most erratic, irrational, violent, aggressive, volatile cast member, and this is only her 2nd season. But it's Annie the fans seem to have a problem with. Annie does not receive a lot of fanfare. I don't know what that's about, but guys, let me get back into this. Let me stop doing this. She says to them, she says to Annie, Anne, I don't like what you said when you walked into my room and you were like, it smells of alcohol. It's almost like you guys are all talking about how I'm a drinker, or I'm a drunk and I sit in my room and I just drink. Or when you say that, it creates room for people to make up such rumors. And she basically goes there with it, and she's like, and then I learned that everybody has been talking about how I've been drinking, bitch. 2 of your friends said it to you, to your face. Why are you acting like people are scattering? Like nobody is going behind your back and talking shit about you and your so-called drinking. When it came up at Sarisha, they ran the tape back. It's amazing. Sometimes they have the footages, sometimes they don't have the footages. How does it work? When do we decide we have the footages? And when do we decide, no, we're not running no tapes back? Or do they decide to run the tapes back if the moment made it on air? If the stuff was left on the cutting floor, do they just say, we're not going to include that? Like, what is happening here? But anyway, they ran the tape back. So Risha was saying to her, because she got, again, very aggressive, like the little chihuahua she is, because she's a tiny woman. She looks very compact, right? But like with all the rah, rah, right? She did all of that shit at Slee, at Sarisha's thing. And when Sarisha spoke to her at her home, Sarisha was like, because if she hasn't been drinking that long for that stretch of time, the idea that alcohol could alter her quite a bit, even in small amounts, because it's a tolerance issue with liquor. You build it up, and if you're off alcohol for like an extended period, when you get back on, you're a bit of a lightweight, you're starting back up, right? So it's not odd for people who feel like this behavior is uncalled for. I'm not gonna call it out of character. It's very much in character for her, because she threw a glass of or liquid that was whatever at Mabusi last season. So this is who she is to me. This is her character. I'm not gonna make up a nice character for her, because why? Why? This is the person she's shown us to be. Why should we make up a different like narrative? Like, no, she's a violent person, and she throws glasses at people. That's her power move. That's her kamehameha. You can't do shit to her. But that's why Sarisha was asking you. When Annie walked in the room, I said in the last episode, if you walk into a room and there was an open glass of liquor, it's gonna fill up the space. Your windows aren't open and stuff. When I walk in, I'm gonna catch up. Me making chats, like me just making a conversation of, oh my God, are you drinking already? It smells like liquor. Like, you know, we're on vacation. Like, oh, are you already started? Are we getting... Like, Annie didn't mean it. Like, guys, they ran the... Like, there was nothing about Annie's tone that suggested, oh my God, are you drinking at this hour by yourself in your room? Like, there was none of that. So, like, she's reaching. A lot she's reaching because she wants attention from Sarisha and Annie. Goes to a point of saying... You guys hate me. She didn't even say you guys don't like me. What am I knows? You and Sarisha talking to Annie. You and Sarisha hate me, and you've opposed me with Miss Wendy over there, girl. Slee's just sitting there minding her own business, and she gets thrown into the mix. Her and Wendy squashed this, from what I understand. Before the trip, when they were having the thing at Maria's lunch thing, they decided that they're going to start over. They decided that they're seeing this from different points. She sees it this way, and we're never going to find each other. So what would be the point of trying to make it work? Let's move forward. Opposed you, them being friends with this woman whom you fabricated a beef with, you and your friend Nonko, fabricate them deciding to bring her into the fray and make nice with her. Like, as somewhat the equivalent of them pushing you out or being opposed to you. Like, how are they the ops? Like, I'm so confused. Do you know why I'm confused? Because none of it is real. All of it is fabricated. She's literally a child who wants attention from the two popular girls, in that they're the ones who are married to the men who've done well, you know, Vivian has probably done better than Annie's husband, but Annie's husband in his own right seems to have done well for himself. And she flew in with them last year on a trip, and that didn't happen this year and stuff. So she's feeling a bit on the outs, and she's on the other end of the table, and she wants to be in over there with them. So let me just start shit. She then flings things on the table without a care of who's inside, and then liquid ends up in Nonko's eye. They say it's water, I don't know, but liquid ends up in Nonko's eye. She storms off. Guys, go watch it back if you have time. Listen to her yelling and screaming. It's literally a tantrum, like a 3-year-old throwing a tantrum, and it's almost like she's doing like somebody come after me, like, because like Maria's wearing all that dress, right? It's taking her a bit to get up from her chair, so she's doing a lot to get people to come after her, and it's so pathetic. Ruan is sitting at the table when they're talking about the liquor thing, talking about how, yeah, her stomach doesn't even agree with. Won't you just shut the fuck up? Go wear another floral blazer and keep it cute on fucking mute. You hear? Why is he on here? Why is he on the trip? Is he a housewife now? What's going on? Where's your husband? You can be on the show if you're doing housewife shit, but you're not. You're just like the groupie dude or whatever. I don't even know what you are. And they run after her. There goes Maria. Oh my God, you guys, because I'm a black woman with full lips, and I'm not saying all black women have full lips, but like, beauty standards aren't applied the same throughout different cultures and things like that. Because a lot of us, where I'm from, and the people who look like me, have fuller lips and things like that. The idea that when you have thin lips, you experience this insecure, it's just not one of our markers. It's not a big marker for us, like, oh, she has beautiful lips, or like full lips or something. I'm saying this to say, I don't understand fully what a person who maybe had thin lips is experiencing when they decide to go and blow up their lips to the extent at which Maria has. This episode in particular, I don't know if she did a touch-up for the trip or we're finally seeing her from different angles. Mama, I need you. Shame, guys. It's not even in a matter of, oh my God, it's sad. Like, it made me sad because I'm like, I wonder what she's seeing in the mirror, like the dysmorphia of it all. I'm not diagnosing her or anything, but it's like, if you keep injecting them and you keep injecting them and they're getting bigger and bigger, from what we've learned over the last few years with people who are addicted to these kind of procedures, I'm not saying this is what Maria is going through, but it did break my heart to see that she's not, for some reason, she doesn't, to get to that point, you must feel like you're not achieving the look you want, and she's a beautiful woman. I need her to dissolve some of it for herself, and I need her to just see herself and be fine with it. Again, I don't relate to it, but I understand it because I don't have comprehension issues. I don't relate to this particular insecurity and stuff. And it's shit like this where I'm talking about how steer clear of like talking about our hair because you don't understand what we go through with our shit. I don't want to now like be like, oh my God, why are her? I feel like it's just a lot going on. It's never just that. But the angle at which the camera was at when she was trying to comfort or cuddle rather the baby Jojo, oh wow, not good. She runs after her, then she's shushing Sane away. She rode with Sane. She's the one who keeps claiming friendship with Sane. Sane and Jojo are trying to build a friendship. Sane is trying to run after her, give her shoes or whatever it is she's trying to do. She can't stay at the table with those girls because obviously they don't get along, and this is a host who's actually extended an invitation, so she goes after her. Maria is there shushing everybody, wanting to be the savior. Oh, come here, come here. And Sane says the same thing. Like, she wants to be like, this Maria Magdalena type person sitting at Jesus like tomb for 3 days and bathing his corpse and like shit. Like, it's like, girl, go the fuck away from me. Like, oh, and then Jojo, how are you the fucking victim, girl? How are you always starting shit and then turning around and being the victim? Just crying like something has been done to her. Back at the table, Annie, Slee, and Sarisha are checking after Nogo because she's now has something in her eye. They're trying to help her. They're figuring out, was it just water? Is it liquor? What was going on? And they are upset now. Like, why would she fling stuff? And Nonko's like, no, it was not intentional. She wouldn't do that intentionally. It's not a whatever. That's the thing about violence and about violent people. I had a friend who was very violent in her younger years, and she's no longer that person because I think it finally got through to her. The thing about not being in control of yourself and getting physical like that is how little control you have over what's going to transpire once you get physical. Once you get physical, you've actually lost. You've lost. Like, I don't care how people see it, but you've lost. You don't know what my resistance is. Like, you don't know if you push me, if I'm sturdy enough to hold. You could push me and then I hit, and I hit the corner of this table, and then we're done for. Do you understand what I'm saying? So arguing intention is redundant in this situation for me. It's not about intention. It's about a repeat of behavior that we do not want around us. And she didn't even have to get to a point where she repeated this behavior, because the first time she did it, her ass should have been off the show. But Mabusi is the one who didn't come back, and she got to come back, I guess because she fits the aesthetic of my man has money and he takes care of me. So she got to come back onto the show or what have you, and then Mabusi had to go. But she was the one who was attacked, right? So defensive or defending Jojo's honor. It wasn't intention, it wasn't this. Argue intent all you like, you would not. It's because it's water, you can reduce it to a nothingness. But like Sarisha said, imagine the glass got in your eye or something, then it would be serious. But there's nothing unserious about this act. We just got lucky that it didn't turn that serious, like in terms of like the injury wasn't this thing, but it could easily have been that. And dismissing it simply because the injury isn't there to show that something violent transpired, it's a bit reckless. This is the second time this one woman, over nothing, she does this. She starts a fire and then she must like make it run like wildfire before anybody notices that she's the one who lit the match. I can't stand her. I actually can't stand her. Like, this episode solidified for me that I don't need to continue to have a soft spot for Jojo just because she looks like a fun girl. She's a fucking brat. Anyway, that happens, and then Jojo threw a fit. Oh yeah, it wasn't intentional. Jojo's screaming and Maria's there acting like this is a baby that she must cuddle. Like, anyway, Ruan is annoying. That my notes say that. That's not me. Yeah. And then she says in her confessional that this group triggers her. Not being liked. Okay, you have a wanting to be accepted thing that you said already. And that's what's going on here. You feel snubbed by Sarisha and Annie. And they haven't snubbed you. They just didn't snub Slee. And somehow that to you computes as, oh, it means they snubbed me. Because they were definitely supposed to not like her. And them liking her, that's the only thing that's going on with you. That's it. You want to be in with the girls. You feel like you're not in with them. And the little girl in you is coming out and just running wild. And you have no control of yourself. Grow the fuck up. You owe all that fucking money. See a therapist about your childhood traumas and what your abandonment issues and how when other women make room for another woman, how that makes you feel when you're not getting on with that woman. Grow the fuck up. See somebody about that. What rubbish. Calvin, of course, an enabler. Annie says it. Annie says it in a confessional. Her husband, Maria, Nonko, Ruan, they are enablers of this childlike behavior. How you throw your fucking toys and act like you don't know how it happened. There he was driving in the dead of the night or whatever the fuck. He gets there bright and early. She's still crying. You know she's a crier, Jojo. Like her tears do fucking nothing for me. Just like fucking crying everywhere. She's going downstairs. She still gets there, does the same thing Maria did. Like she's a child. And he said in a quote, I'm done babying this chick. So you all knew she behaves like a child. He literally like, it's the way they do it. It's like, if you have to coddle somebody like that, like they're a child, you subconsciously know they're behaving like one. Because what's with all that shit? Maria comes down to see her off, does the fucking same shit and actually says with those same lips, oh, my baby girl. Bitch, what? Bye, girl. Bye. She leaves with her man. Nobody cares. Thank God. Bye, girl. So Risha meets up with Nonko. And Nonko's having a massage to relax herself. And she checks in on her that, you know, we were rather worried about you. Why is somebody who's closer to you? You guys are so close right now. Why is she doing that, Nonko? It was honestly not intentional. It was an honest mistake. She would not feel like that if it was Slee. If Slee went into a trance, something that can take over your body and you're not in control of it if you're a spiritual person. And I bet you Nonko would get mad. Nonko would be mad. Nonko would find something, but this is her bestie. And I don't blame her, right? When you're closer to somebody, you tend to make excuses for them. You do it for your little stupid boyfriends. So she's doing it for her friend here. And the thing is, I don't know if it would be done for her. I think that's what Sarisha said in her confessional. The love, the loyalty, it's disproportional to a degree. I don't know if Jojo would take up for Nonko like this. Also, are they going to fly back? Who's flying back now? Because Calvin drove down to come get his girl. So is the chopper still chopping? Like, oh guys, what's going to happen? Anyway, she makes excuses for her. It is what it is. Yeah. And he goes for a hike with Slee. This was a nice scene. These are fitness girls. They love to be out and about in the outdoors. They like to keep fit and stuff. You guys, I said in the last episode that I need Slee to tell us what happened those 6 years. She's not telling us anything. And as I say this, and I don't like to bring things off the show onto when I'm doing the reviews and stuff, but go check the TikToks, guys. Go check the TikToks of what the dynamic was with that man and her. Her aunt is involved somewhere. When the person on TikTok started explaining, I was like, why does Slee look like this person? Slee's not giving us the... she's embarrassed. If what people are alleging on TikTok, allegedly, is anything to go by, I'd also be embarrassed. I'd say as little while saying a lot, which is what she does, around the issue of her abandoning her kids to allegedly go and take care of that man's kids for 6 years. Allegedly. Okay, they go for their walk. There's like a waterfall part and stuff. They go in the water. Her gift seems to be heightened around water. We saw that in earlier episodes that they were doing whatever thing they were doing for her. Whatever, is it a rite of passage? Is it a ceremony? What is it? Whatever thing they were performing, they were doing it by the river and stuff. So she gets there. She pours her things. She does her little snuff for the ancestors to grant her permission to be in the waters and stay at ease and all of those things. And they get to having a chat, her and Annie. I thought it was funny at Maria's lunch when Annie felt like she could turn to Slee and tell her to basically audition for friendship. Like, who the fuck you think you are, Annie girl? Okay, but clearly because she was so close with Jojo, contrary to Jojo feeling like they just so willingly let Slee in, Annie still had her guard up, and her guard was Bluetoothed. Right? Her guard was on the back of, you and my maid don't get along, so I don't really know what you're about like that, girl, so I'm going to keep my distance a bit. So they're talking, and Slee's like, I'm glad you guys, I'm not glad things happened the way they did, but she feels somewhat vindicated because she's always felt like Nonko and Jojo, and when they come for her, it can be over nothing. They can just start it. They can make like a nothing, a something. Like this tiny thing can be this mammoth thing out of the blue, and she feels like that's what happened, right? Because Annie makes a simple comment, but then it gets blown into, people are accusing me of being an alcoholic. Which people? Annie said this at the table. No, the entire group is here, or except for Bali, obviously, but like everybody's here. So when you're saying people are saying this, which people? Point at people. Give us some names. Like, girl. Anyway, they have their little thing. It was quite nice. Slee feels vindicated and stuff. Yeah, that's what happened. And then they meet up for sundowners. And they have like Zulu dances. I loved the scene. It was nice. Because I obviously watched a couple of times to take my notes, and then I rewind and I do whatever. I never skipped through the scene. It was nice. While I was doing some of my notes and stuff, it was nice to listen through the music, and Slee's like, oh my god, it just reminds me of home and stuff. I can't believe Sane's saying that no, the music is good for the soul, but they're singing to people with evil spirits. Girl, who is you even? We need Mene's mirrors. Like in this exact moment, we need just mirrors to surround her, as she says that. Like, who are you talking about, girl? They all learned that Jojo left. This is where they learned that Jojo has left and stuff, so it's a trip without a host. She wasn't much of a host to begin with, so whatever. Sundowners, Sunday says they sing it to, okay. Maria cries, I don't care. Maria cries, it's not something I want to see with my eyes. We should be role models and encouraging and uplifting each other. Here's the thing about like being in a space with like black women and other non-white women and what have you. This idea that we have that we must get along at all times because people are watching. That's not the human experience. There's conflict in the experience that is our condition, humaning. So no, we're not always going to get along, and we can't always be positive and empowering each other. Our energies aren't mixing and stuff, but we should be grown enough. Annie said this, be an adult enough to control yourself. Okay, don't just always like flip things and get weird and just how Jojo gets and stuff. That's fucking weird. We're not getting along right now. It can just be an exchange of words, and then we can just not see it for each other. Right. My coffee always gets cold, but like razam. Then Sane feels like this is a moment for her to explain herself, but not really. To Jojo, to Annie. She talks in circles and lies. And lies. I also don't know why they didn't give us like a rollback of the footages where she clearly said what she said. Guys, now I'm so like drained. I'm drained about. Here's what I think I'm missing. I think typically when you hear sleep your way to the top, when you think of like the movie trope of the girl who sleeps her way to the top, it's somebody who slept with multiple people to climb a corporate ladder or whichever industry. You know, like if you are working in film, you sleep with any and all producers to get to where you want. So I'm feeling like, is that what Annie's feeling like she's being accused of? Like she's jumping from this dude and that dude who has money, and then she finally nabbed her husband. Is that what she's hearing? Because when Sane is saying it, I'm just hearing that she dated strategically, as you should. It's like, guys, Annie looks the way she does, right? We agree that she ticks the boxes of what we have decided beauty is, and fine, the markers are rooted in white supremacist ideals. She's fair skinned, she's got loose textured hair, she doesn't have typical like full African type features, but she doesn't have the most I wouldn't say she has Eurocentric features, but like her proportions aren't skewed our way. They're somewhere in the middle. She has the symmetry where she can be considered, oh, that's a beautiful girl, right? According to the standard that we know about. We don't have to subscribe to it and make it our standard, but we know it exists because we live in a world where white supremacy reigns supreme. Like, we cannot get away from this. Are we saying that Annie was supposed to, with the look that she has, which is currency, are we saying she was not supposed to buy herself with that currency that is beauty, the lifestyle she has right now by way of marriage? Because if this is said by Sane in a manner to shame her for being hypergamous in her dating, she loses me. But where Annie, it's like Sane loses me if it's done to shame her. And it was. The tone was very much like, Nonko was like, oh, she wanted me to stand up from my chair for her man to sit and what have you. And I don't know what that's about. She's so full of herself and stuff. And then Sane's response was like, I don't know why, because she slept her way to the top. So basically saying it's not like she's in the position she's in because she herself earned them in terms of how we perceive like earning things, right? Working hard, merit and things like that. She married somebody who already had those things, and then by being attached to him, she had those things. And now we feel like she needs to remember her roots. That's the tone that Sane was coming from with me. This new angle that she's taking, that no, I was saying that I would also be a little full of myself if I was married to a man, the kind of man that you married to, because he's done so well for himself. And that's not what you said, girl. That's not what you said. You guys were talking about her being full of herself, and you were trying to put her down like, yeah, you're there now, but don't remember you actually came from a cage. I don't know if the other thing that bothers me about Annie, when she shared how she met her husband in her past, I think it was to get ahead of the narrative. It wasn't because she's not ashamed of it, because she's now moving like she's ashamed of her past, and I don't know why. You were just dancing, girl. Even if you weren't just dancing, whatever you're fucking doing, you were doing it, and it doesn't matter, but you were just dancing. But it's like now you want to rewrite history, but you're the one who gave us this history. Just own it. What were you supposed to do? Not date the boss even though the boss wanted you wanted him back? Why can't you just say that? Sane, why can't Sane just sit in the shit and be like, yeah, I was being flippant. Like, we were at the table, it was going smooth, and the champagne was nice, and I wanted to be in with the girls, so I said what I said, and my bad. And I can understand if you're not going to be cool with me moving forward, but it is what it is, and I said it. And then Annie can just be like, nah, I'm fucking hot. What was I supposed to do? Like fuck the bouncer, date the ice boy, when I had the option to date this other man whom I'm actually attracted to, who likes me back. I mean, granted, she's up in that house. She may not be on the portrait, but she's in the house. What exactly was Annie do what you bitches do in the ghetto? Do you know that pretty girl in the ghetto who dates down? Like who dates losers because she's humble? Or the girl from the rich family who dates losers who don't have shit going on because he makes her laugh and he makes her happy and he's so humble. Was Annie supposed to do that? Not use her currency to elevate an economic class? Guys, everybody own your part of the story. Annie, you elevated an economic class by way of marriage. That's the whole premise of the Real Housewives, you guys. Women who are being kept by their wealthy husbands. We tune in to see it. That's why we're here. Own it. Run with it. Be that girl. My man takes care of me. Like, I have pink shit. Like, you're just giving too much power away unnecessarily. Like, no, girl. No. And then Sane, and then you said it. I don't understand what's going on. Annie calls bullshit because Sane just keeps talking circles, saying that's not what I said. That's what they understood from what I said, but those weren't my words. Implying that she feels like these are words that Annie has always wanted to tell you this. Maybe these are the feelings she has towards you and she's used me as a scapegoat to communicate this message. That's not what happened. Or Jojo rather. Jojo didn't say that. In fact, Jojo said not much of anything at that lunch. It was Nonku who had the problem from being made to stand up from that event that was not on camera. Fine. Sarisha then goes for a drive with Sanea, and then they're sitting there. There's another thing about Sarisha. I want the bleaching storyline. I don't care. I want the bleaching storyline. I watch Indian matchmaking on Netflix. It's one of my favorite shows. And the colorism in the Indian community is a rife. It's rife. It's a rife. You fucking understand me? They just say it, you guys. Even like we try to code the language sometimes because we're a little embarrassed. But like, they just say things like the criteria of the girls they want. Fair-skinned, bitch, what? Like, they just say it. Like, the colorism is everyday language. It's just there. Sarisha bleached. And it only came up at the safari last season with Londi when they were all at the table and they were asking each other questions. I think that's when it came up. And somebody asked her about it or wherever, and she's like, she's built like a business, a very successful business off of it. She's talked about it enough, and that's enough of that. The reason I say it is because we always talk about how Kanyimba looks like Pinky. In this scene in particular, I couldn't get away from seeing the remnants of what that shit did to her. The bleaching, it's not even, it doesn't look natural. It's got that pink hue, that pinkish type thing that we're talking about. I feel like it's a chat, especially because it's something that affects like the community she comes from to a great extent, just like us, right? I wanted to talk about it. I was so distracted this scene. I was so distracted, Chim. But they talk about whatever, and then she finally admits it. You know, it slips actually, Sane, that no, she did say it, but that's not how she meant it. Not only did you say it, but you said it exactly how you meant it, and you meant it how you said it. So I don't know why you wanna be so cool with Annie. I don't know why. You could just say it, and then it's like, nah, own it. Like, just own it. I said it. We weren't cool like that. This is how I've known about you and stuff. This is the reputation I know of you from the streets, and I could be wrong. I'm sorry. I'll get to know you better. And own it, and then move and stuff. And then they head back. Nonko calls Scar. She's in the pool. She calls her man Scara to explain to him that she had the worst day of her life, and Jojo left and stuff. And then Nonko says to him that she's hearing that Maria's been talking nasty about her, basically accusing her of being, you know, the battery in Jojo's back and being a bad influence, and she needs to confront her about that. Right. Ruan goes for a picnic with Maria, and it comes up. I really don't understand Maria's deep dislike for Nonko. I don't get the deep dislike for Nonko, but she really does not see it for Nonko at all. And she feels like Nonko is a bad influence. Again, because Georgia's a child. Jojo's being influenced. Your friend is a bad influence and you're a good little girl and you don't know any better. These two feed off each other quite well. They pour into each other's madness. What are we missing? Nobody's innocent here. When Jojo's on bullshit, Nonko's there saying it's not intentional. When Nonko's starting mess, Jojo is there with an explanation for why it is Nonko's on bullshit. Like, how is she the influence? What did Nonko ever say to Jojo to make her feel like she needs to attack Annie and Sarisha to a point of saying to them, you guys hate me. Hate you. Annie was just at your house twice this season. The first time she thought it was just going to be the two of you. She came there, you ambushed her with Nonko. She stayed, you guys had a great time. The second time you came here at a picnic and this is a person you're now saying hates you. Bruh. You don't know what you want. Sarisha invited you over to have a conversation. You guys sat there and didn't eat the food. But like, anyway, has a picnic with one and she's like, and she was also entitled to my makeup skills and she can't afford me. I don't know what the fuck this is about. Maria's like contour is harsh. Whatever. She needs to get into that soft glam a little bit. My throat is like, wow. Slee arranges for drinks with Nonko. What the fuck is Nonko wearing? What in the tin man nonsense is this shit that Nonko's wearing? What in the rubbish? I'm cool with not understanding fashion when these things start to happen. They meet up at the bar and Slee's like, you know what, I feel like we owe it to our relationship and also the relationship our kids have with each other to figure out what happened in our friendship and where we are and how we proceed. Nonko does something that to you may seem like an apology. To me it isn't. She says, I'm aware you feel that I threw you under. No, girl. I'm not feeling that you threw me under the bus, girl. I know you did. Why don't you just say, I did throw you under the bus, then I'm sorry about that. Guys, she was the bus driver, the passengers on the bus, the road, like she all the components that go into getting run over by a bus, they were all Nonko. They were all being played by Nonko. That's how much she threw this girl under the bus. And then she's like, maybe from that point we can try to rebuild our trust. And Slee in the confessionals is like, it's gonna take a miracle for me to see this through because I don't see how. And you must keep a person like that at arm's length. For you to think you have this quality of a relationship with a person, even if it was just like for TV, you guys are still neighbors and you get along, or you brought her on. It's like, even if we're not close and we're acquaintances, so I'm not gonna bring you on to throw you under the bus because that says more about me. And my character just wanna, how you introduce people and on introduction you say, oh, this is Dee Dee and she doesn't like you, bitch. They have their little things. Slee calls out Nonko. Oh yeah, what the fuck is Nonko wearing? That's what my notes say. Yeah, anyway, that was the gist of it. They say they're gonna try to do some baby steps things, but the trust is gone. Slee has no space left for Nonko. None. Slee calls Nonko over for drinks. We already did that. And then we head out to the dinner. I don't like when mash does not match skin. Like Sarisha's dress is like really hard on my mind. Like I don't know what to do, because like the mash is so black, right? And then obviously she's now a fair-skinned woman, and I just like for the mesh to match. You understand? The applique to be where it's about. Like I don't like it. Okay. They go to this thing. They go to dinner. Everybody arrives. They're looking cute and stuff. They sit down. Nonko, yesterday was the hardest day of my life. Everybody's like, Maragel, like, was it even that serious? Now you keep telling us how it wasn't intentional, but now it was the hardest day of your life. And she says she felt alone. But to be fair, she kind of isolated herself from the group and made Nonko. What was that whole putting all your eggs in one basket? Her basket was Jojo, and Jojo left her. Jojo is the basket, and she left, and she was just the egg, just like wobbling about the fucking place. But the thing is, no, it's like Sarisha always has room for Nonko, right? It's not like she was completely alone. Do you understand? Ruan was still there, and Ruan is Team Nonko. And Maria is like, oh, doesn't like Nonko, but she's Team Jojo. She wasn't all that alone. It's just that her bestie was gone. And she's like, she's talking about it like Jojo is gone. And then Sarisha says in the confessionals, she's alive. Like, you'll see her. Like, Jojo is alive. Like, why is she talking like this? Like, and she was literally talking like she lost her friend, you know, like, moo, like, girl, child, there was no casket. Anyway, Annie then says she feels that she was attacked yesterday, and then Nonko tells her that she wasn't attacked. I don't know how you tell somebody what they experienced, but this is happening. And she's like, and then she does all of that. She started that and didn't even say goodbye. Just left us because she knows that when she starts shit, she can't see it through or face the music the next day. So she avoids accountability and responsibility. And then Nonko's like, no, but she's your friend. And then Annie's like, is she though? Because is she? At this point, if you're accusing me of hating you, I also need to question, are we friends? Like, what in the hell kind of friendship is this where I just make a comment about it smelling like liquor and you acting like I'm talking about you need AA? Girl, what? Anyway, Annie says that Nonko says you weren't attacked. She didn't attack you. And she's going to defend her friend till the death. Girl, what is this, Game of Thrones? Like, chill. And then Slee has a reaction when she says this. And I think that reaction is coming from, well, fuck, I got thrown under the bus and this bitch throwing shit, slinging stuff about the place is going to be defended till the death. Where was this defense of Mabusi and Slee? Oh, you were too busy being the bus and the bus driver and the road and the passengers and the lights and the... Okay, never mind. And then, because Sane at the Sundowners with the dancers and stuff alluded to the fact that I only said what I said, Annie, because the people you were already friends with, well, more Jojo than Nonko. Nonko was an acquaintance, really. You weren't friends, you just whatever. But I was comfortable to say that because why aren't you asking yourself what they were saying? And from this, Annie then says to Nonko, and what did you guys say to Slee for Slee to end up saying what she said? Slee's just wrong and Nonko's right. Slee, because then, Annie then says, no, because Slee's suggesting that Jojo is actually the one who talked about the me sleeping to the top thing. This is so dead and dry and gone for me. What do you want to do, honey? Sleep yourself to the bottom. Like, we're letting dudes tap for free, dog. You did better than us. Just be happy. Jeez. Like, and then Sane, in true Jojo style, she learned something, deflecting. You must, like, be dramatic and bang tables. And she's like, I'm not going to keep answering this thing. I talked to Sarisha already. I did whatever. Sarisha's sitting at the side of the table the entire time. I go, hey, so girl. Not saying no, but like, Sane, you did admit to me that you actually did. She's just nodding and letting this like drama on and not saying, no, yo guys, Sarisha bitch. Sarisha, I bet you if the exchange was between Slee and not Nonko, then she would intervene. But because it was Sane and Nonko, she's just like, well, them bitches can have each other. Like, why should I get involved here? But then, you know, she pulls a power move, she bangs things, it doesn't land for me. It's like, oh, you're trying hard to deflate, hey. But then Nonko then says, no, I'm gonna have to defend Jojo. Jojo didn't say that, and Jojo barely spoke. This is the fucking one time this girl has been innocent. She didn't even speak at that lunch. I don't understand why Sane can't own this. She said it, she meant it because it's not a lie. Okay, this is something Annie already told us. She just does not like Sane saying it and her choice of words. But that's it, you guys. That's really what happened. Annie, what did you say to Sarisha? Says nothing. Yeah, that was about it. It was explosive at the last scene though, but like, Yeah, Yella, these girls are exhausting to me. One of you left a comment, and I never want to say the name because I don't want people to go find things. Cause I don't even have a lot of comments and stuff. But what you said about the fight night that Calvin was trying to put together, I was like, maybe production will force them just to have a scene with the guys. Maybe they're trying to do, you know, when you watch like New Jersey and things like that, they have like scenes with the guys. They try to force it this past season with Atlanta, where the guys filming their own scenes just to add a little something to the show. So maybe they're trying to manufacture that for this franchise. Like I said, we're getting more screen time with the husbands. But like you said also, I mean, yes, Calvin has managed to make good for himself with the monies and stuff, but Maria's husband is a surgeon, which is what you said, and Viv is Viv, and they don't come from the same world, and like, what would Skyra contribute there? You're right, like, all money is not, yeah, hey, maybe they'll force it, maybe just for filming, maybe it'll be awkward. I don't know. I don't want to see it. I don't want them to put me through it. I do not want to see it. I hope they don't put me through that. But that's basically what happened. I'm exhausted. I'm tired of talking about whether or not Annie slept her way to the top. Annie was hypergamous in her dating, and it's paid off and good for her, and I'm proud of her, and I want her to own her narrative and stop letting people spray her with her shit like it's shit. It's not shit. Somebody just like telling or having accounts of how you came into this position is nothing for you to be ashamed of. What are you supposed to do? Like, stay poor? Or just be like, for what? For who? No. If sleeping is what you must do, we're all sleeping, but are we all climbing? No. So you must have some finesse about you. It didn't just happen. Now, girl, you gotta get yourself onto that portrait though. Okay. You're in the house, we're doing great. You're in the house nonetheless, but let's get on the portrait, okay? All right, Chella. Mwah. Bye, Yella.